All right, inside the Drive at 5 p.m. Big Rob here on this frigid, rainy Thursday afternoon.
Yes, sir.
All right. So yesterday, our sister Lakisha Harris shared a video on social media,
Yes, sir.
and I think it's only right to rerun the video from one of our local business owners.
Yep.
And we'll have a conversation afterward. I think she's going to join us. We're expecting her to join us at some point during this conversation. But this is what she called her love letter.
Yes.
To the community.
This is my personal love letter to you, the community, the supporters, the followers, and the friends of Soulfield. For 6 years now, I moved back to Muskegon in 2020 in the height of COVID, started in the Hideout, moved over to Glade Street, and my greatest desire was to come to downtown Muskegon. There's not always a manual that comes with what you should do as a business owner, as a mother, as an individual. And over the course of these last 6 years, I've chosen everything over my own interest. I've given until I didn't have any more to give. I've remained silent when I could have been loud. I've taken blow after blow and still shown up every day for the community, for the business, for the people. As a result, in starting this project, I could not get funding from any bank. No one would help me. Not an initiative, not a loan or anything. I received a grant, I worked hard, and I was able to open this project. We have been very successful. But along with success comes its series of challenges. Initially, we were given a lot of promises, preyed upon by predatory businesses, staffing agencies that took advantage of my naivety for their own benefit. And still, I showed up every day. Personnel issues, losing money, gaining money, wins, losses, tried to remain resilient. I am now, however, tired. Not only physically, but emotionally and mentally. The project here in downtown Muskegon is not sustainable. The overhead, the rigors, the challenges that we have to face are not of benefit to the Soulfield brand. And sometimes you have to look at your situation and your circumstance and you have to say, can I continue in this manner? Can I go on? If things weren't to change from the way they are today, can I continue to operate in this manner? And my most honest answer would be no. I don't want to abandon my daughter. I don't want to have health-related issues that would impede my ability to work. And so, effective this Sunday, March 29th, 2026, Soulfield Enterprises will be closing its doors at 221 West Webster here in downtown Muskegon, Michigan. I want to be very specific that we will continue to do our catering, we will continue to do our philanthropy, and I will continue to travel and be a voice for people of color, for female chefs, for African American chefs, for Latino chefs throughout the community. However, I need time to regroup and to be good to Lakisha. I've given this community everything that I have. I cannot be the person that I need to be and continue to operate in the deficit that I'm operating in. So, I ask that you would allow us some time as we transition into a new location and I take some much needed time for myself to continue to be the good in our community. I want to still love what I'm doing. And right now, I do not. Right now, it is difficult for me to find the joy, to find the passion, to find the strength to continue to endure. And I've had to ask myself the hard question, Lakisha, maybe you're a great chef. Maybe you're not a great restaurant owner. I will always continue to cook. I will continue to feed the community. But my ambitions and my aspirations call me away from this physical location often. And in that truth, I have to leave the responsibility of my vision and my brand in the hands of others who may or may not take it as seriously as I do. And so in an effort to give you the best of what I have to offer, I can only do that with me being present. I can only do that with me being 100% myself. And so I thank you for everyone that's bought a meal, for every Google review, for every post shared, for every like, for every time you booked us, for every time you've shown up, for every special occasion, for every time we've shared in a wedding, a graduation, a funeral, and you brought us into your life and into your homes. I will continue to cook. I will continue to cater. But right now, this physical location is not what's in the best interest for my brand. Even though we live in the year 2026, prejudice, discrimination, the ability to be seen and treated as an equal still eludes us as a people. I cannot water down who I am. I will not water down my brand. This concept is probably a better fit for another food brand, another food company. But for Soulfield, we are a niche. We are standalone. I refuse to continue to raise my prices. I refuse to give you canned food products when you expect homemade. We need to find another location that will allow us to flourish, to be authentically who we are, without apology, without fear of continual exclusion of who we are, from marketing, from branding, from even being mentioned. The one thing that I can tell you is that if at any time I do not have my best to offer, that is the time that I don't offer anything. But when I show up, I always promise to give you my best. The goal is to underpromise and overperform. That's who I am. That's who I'll always be. And so again, March 29th, 2026 will be our last day at 221 West Webster Avenue. We are looking at a new location. However, right now, I need some time, at least 30 days, to just focus on myself, to rebuild, to pour into my daughter, to pour into myself, to take some time to step back and say, this is who I am, this is what I have to offer, and this is the best of what I have to give. I promise I will not abandon you. I promise I will not leave you. I promise that every catering that's on the books will be fulfilled. There are other cities bidding for my presence. I want to remain here in Muskegon. I want to see my daughter graduate from my alma mater. I want to continue to give. But I also want to be wise with the resources and all that God has given to me. And so I thank you from the bottom of my heart. Whether you spoke well or negative, I've learned from it all. Whether you shared your family or you withheld, I've learned from it all. I'm stronger, I'm wiser, and most importantly, I am Muskegon. It will always be a part of me, and I will always give you my best. Sincerely, with all my love, I'll see you on the other side.
Wow. Inside of Driver 5, that was Lakisha Harris from El. So very few people could do that
Yeah, I couldn't do it.
and be so transparent about the operation. Um, wow, we got her. We got her on StreamYard. We got her live. Sister Lakisha, how you doing?
Oh, I'm hanging in there.
Can
I'm hanging in
imagine.
there.
Can imagine. Did you get everything out that you wanted to get out yesterday?
You know, there was so much that I wanted to say, and for so long I've been quiet. I thought that my silence was the way to go, but I now see that giving a voice to the struggle um, is the way to be most impactful. Because sometimes silence can be seen as consent,
Mm.
and I've not been in agreement with what I've had to endure. Um, and if perchance I can be of encouragement to someone else, or if what I consider my setback is a setup for someone else, then I want to be honest about what we're dealing with and what we're facing in Muskegon County as a community and as a Black owned business.
Wow, has anything changed since you did this video?
I have seen a rallying of support from the community that I did not know existed. I've also received threats that if I were to say or name certain things or people or entities, even to the point of threatening my daughter at school today,
Oh
you
wow.
know. And what I know is this is that if God is for me, the whole world can be against me. And while that's cliche and while that's a biblical quote, when the whole world is against you, it feels that way, you know? But I want to be courageous. Um, if I operate in fear, then this will continue to happen. And so sometimes you have to be the person to step out there and say, hey, I'm not sure what happens on the other side of this, but I'm going to tell you the truth because I wasn't perfect in all of that I've done, but definitely not deserving of the end result that we're now experiencing.
You mentioned a lot in your video, and then we talked, and I know you talked to Big Rob in the past. Um, would you consider the business climate environment for you to be hostile or to be one of tense? How would you describe that business? Because I can relate. When we started the radio station, we was the only black business
Mhm.
inside this building on 881st Street, and then we moved to 316 Morris Avenue, where people were scared to get on the elevator with our on-air personality. We were given restricted hours and in which staff can come in. So we can definitely can relate. But can you talk about the climate?
You know, the most surprising part of it is that 95% of the hostility that I received came from within our own community. And I mean people who share the same hue. Um, you will never hear me talk about another food entity in Muskegon. You won't hear me talk about Kareem. You won't hear me say anything negative about Big Wheezy. You won't never hear me say anything negative about country cooking. You won't hear me say anything negative about Cajun cuisine. That is because we are not competing against one another. We are fighting a bigger force. And it is sometimes those within our community that serve as the biggest critics. If perchance there is something that I don't like, if perchance I have a negative experience, I chalk that up to humanity. We don't give grace. I don't know why in our community. And a lot of times with business owners, we cannot physically be present, but everything that happens comes back to our name. No one is going to say the cashier didn't, or the cook didn't, or the dishwasher didn't. It will come back to that brand. And so, most importantly, I want to see our community rally around our community. Our dollar has impact. But secondarily, to those who are not a part of our community, they want us to know that downtown Muskegon belongs to a group of people. It always has. And maybe perchance, even the powers that be, even the leadership, even the government of our downtown is not really those who are in charge. It
Mm,
is those people who have the money.
right.
And you can see their projects fail over and over again, and they bail one another out. Whereas we allow one another to struggle, and we sit back and say, hey, I told you so, or I knew it wasn't going to be long. I wish that we could join together, see the power of our dollar, see the power of our presence, and also see the power of our voice. If in fact we were to have a unified voice, we could have a unified impact. And so, even if Soulfield is not in downtown Muskegon, let's rally around those Black owned businesses that are down there and not criticize them and tear them down, but find ways to creatively give constructive criticism and or support in a way that we can see our presence remain.
Go ahead, Big Rob.
Well, Keisha, you know how I feel about Lakisha. I'm sorry. You know how I feel about you. We do
Hmm.
the soul-filled desserts down at the library. We always judge, and I'm always trying to big up Keisha. I was like, I'm always saying I'm just fat, and Keisha got all the smarts with the what ingredients. Tell them where I'm lying at, Keisha.
You're not lying.
I'm not lying. So we supported you. We never asked you for a deal. We
Mhm.
come down there, we pay whatever your price is, we get what we want. And if you throw an extra neck bone in there, I mean not neck bone, turkey neck.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
was
you're
saying
right.
we was talking about neck bones
You
yesterday,
don't let it
remember?
out.
But turkey neck in there, or you say, hey, this was made with love or whatever. We appreciated that. We still do. We understand being a black business and trying to survive here in Muskegon and relying on our own people. you
Mhm.
know Paul, we started this radio station 25,
24 years ago.
24 years ago. Our price for our ads have never changed. But do you realize we still to this day, 24 years later, still get a complaint about how much our price is for our ads?
Even though gas has went up, electricity went up,
Gas,
everything.
everything else went up, but our ads stayed the same. Okay, Keisha.
Mhm.
And the one thing I wanted to say, you said people are threatening you.
Mhm.
Give them my number. I
Mhm.
enjoy threats. Threats do something for me. 24 years ago, PA said, Rob, you can't be out here doing this and that no more. Okay. Not
Mhm.
as a father, but as a friend. Okay.
Mhm.
Give them my number. I'll handle those threats for you, one
Yeah,
way or the
they
other.
shouldn't be threatening you.
They
Yeah,
should not be
yeah.
threatening you. They should not be threatening your daughter. And I'm quite sure there's other black men, probably some white men,
Definitely.
that will
Yeah.
take that challenge too. Give them my number. And we'll take on that burden for you, sister, because you should not have to be threatened, you or your daughter.
Threatened
But
because you wanted to go public.
Threatened because I wanted to go public, threatened because of the truth that I've hid. This didn't start a month ago for Soulfield. This started the day that we opened those doors. And specifically, we have been called the N word openly, publicly. We have experienced bias. We have experienced exclusion. We have seen that we were locked into a 5-year commitment when other entities were locked into a 2-year commitment. We were quoted one price for rent, and we received almost 3 times that price monthly in utility bills without any understanding of where the billing is coming from. Where are these utilities? Who's paying what portion? And as I begin to ask questions, we begin to be further and further left out. We begin to be further and further singled out, even to the degree this winter, as the snow was being plowed, it was all pushed into our area, blocking our door, our entryways. And for a long time, I thought if I just didn't say anything, if I was just quiet, that was the way that we were going to get through it. But when I started to ask the questions is when we had to have the discussion. And even now, I don't know what happens on the other side of this, but it's the truth. It is not easy. Um, Being not only a business owner and a female, but a single mother. I don't get to drive the fancy car. I don't have a big house off the lake. I live a very modest lifestyle. And that is because everything you see in that restaurant, I paid cash for. Not one bank gave me a loan. Not one person said, I'm going to fund a dream. I'm going to partner with you. Everybody told me what could not be done. And even while we were there, those words and those words of doubt continue to resonate. But I believe that if I kept showing up for the people, that God would show up for me. And so even the most strongest warrior gets battle fatigue. And I'm just tired. And at this point, I needed to say, hey, you guys, I can't fight this alone. Even if I'm not in the forefront of the fight, I'll stand back and I'll fight with someone else to make sure that we stay in this battle.
You mentioned that even a lot of the marketing that your business was left out of the marketing. Were your business the only one that was left out of the marketing?
It was. In July, there were 6 billboards put up around the city of Muskegon. Soulfield is not mentioned on any of them. And I was told I got my own billboard. I had my own billboard. It was for them to promote the other restaurants. On the website and the pages, we highlighted Soulfield here, but Soulfield was also excluded. Our logo was cut off. Our pictures were cut off. They were mislabeled. Whereas we had professional photography done, we were having stock photos used of our products.
Wow. So not
Soul
your real
food
brand.
Soul food was called comfort food and southern food. And if you know the difference, that they're not one and the same.
Right.
And some things are chalked up to AI. AI does a lot of it. But even in that, just educating and being an educated person so that when I came to the table, I knew what I was talking about.
Right.
I did my research. I wasn't just talking. And it was just kind of like, that pat on the back, that pat on the head, go away, Lakisha, we're going to pacify you. But while we're pacifying you, here's another $6,000 on top of that. Here's another $5,000 on top of that. And there was no way. There was no way to sustain with the amount of sales because this is a food court concept. So for every 5 customers that walk in that building, you have 5 choices. So you have other restaurants also replicating what's on your menu. We were never supposed to compete against one another. Each genre was standalone so that I wasn't going to go over and make tacos because that was on the Mexican restaurant menu. It wouldn't make sense that we would contend with one another. But there were no more rules. The rules seemed to be for Soulfield, not for everyone.
Wow. Reliable Lakisha Harris, El Soulfield Restaurant. So the 29th is the last day.
The 29th is the last day at 221 West Webster Avenue. I knew this day was coming. I was trying to think of what I could do, but there isn't anything that I could have done differently. There was no way to get the investors, the bailouts. In all of this time, to be honest with you, Rob and PA, I have never once done a GoFundMe. I've never asked anyone to donate. I have given and given and given. And my pride got in the way. And I finally said, I have to say something. But I did not know what to say because I was afraid to say something. And then I just opened my mouth and there came the truth.
Wow. Well, I hope you feel free now. I hope you feel like this is the start of maybe, and we talked about business off the air. This is the start of the elevation there. It's so unfortunate that we do have to go through these things as Black business owners.
And don't think we didn't go through it.
So you're not alone.
Paul's still battling people that people don't even know.
And it's part of the culture now. So it's expected. It's expected to be a constant battle, but you're going to win those battles and you're going to win the war. We got some comments. So let you know you're not by yourself. You got people that love you. Corliss Watkins Nas. Thank you, sister. Thank you for your donation last year. Her and her husband sponsor a kid trip to Africa. She's in Kalamazoo. Thank you so much. She said, keep holding on, Lakisha. We're holding you up in prayer. Business owner Will Robeson, you've always been stand up and supporter. Even when others were coming for you, you stood tall and took the high road every time. I'm proud of you, sis. Andy O'Reilly, a good friend. I can't speak to any instance after, but I can promise you, Lakisha has videotape proof of almost any chef in town by Gratian inviting them on when she was doing her show on Muskegon Channel. She's a proven leader. Tyra Riley Burst, missionary Burst said, love you, and we will always support you. Thank you for always loving me and my family. Jeanette Burt said, I love your food. I love the way you make everyone feel. It would be a big loss. You always have a large following if customers, shame on anyone who was negative. Lachey Bayou said, love you, sister. Sister Tanika Harris said, yes, Big Rob, I love that support. Support our women. They have no business threatening her. You got a bunch of support online from people from all over. It has to make
Thank
you
you
feel
all.
good.
It does. You hear, it seems like the roar of the lion is that louder than that of the lamb, so you hear the critique so much louder. I remember one person that came into the restaurant when we first opened, and she went onto social media and said something negative, and there were over 300 comments in the negative concerning our business from the community. There was one African American man who stated in that stream of comments, this is what destroys our community. And I remember saying that I would never go back to social media again. I would never look again. I would never post again. But something in me said, keep being the good. When you tell someone you're proud of them, when you support, when you say, we appreciate you, we thank you. And even when you say, hey, I didn't like this, if you could do it this way, and you give us honest feedback, a real business person wants to meet the need of their customer. I cannot respond the way that I've been attacked, but what I can do is do my best to represent the community, my daughter, my family, and also represent our race, because people expect us to be angry and to respond a certain way. But if we respond with wisdom, if we respond with etiquette, if we respond with integrity and character, I feel like that should be honored above everything else. And so I said all of that to say thank you for everybody that was kind to me when it wasn't popular to be kind to me. When everyone else that was saying negative, and you said, I don't want to participate in that conversation. That was all I needed to keep going another day and another day and another day.
Wow. Big Rob, anything?
Man, I'm touched. And Keisha, don't forget, you got my number. Give them my number. They want to throw out these threats and stuff like that. Shouldn't no black woman have to deal with that's in this business world and stuff and all the other stuff? Because me and you had a conversation, and you didn't expose it. I'm not going to expose it. But there's things that's happening in this city and in this county that we are oblivious to. Well, not myself, people like myself, PA and Lakisha, we're not oblivious to it. We see what y'all doing and stuff like that. They said on average, the black dollar stays in the black community once. In the white community, it stays in their community 10 times. So why is we taking our monies and giving it to somebody else? They can talk about me like a dog because I'm mixed. They can't say I'm racist because I said in the white community. Because my mama was white. My daddy was black. So you can't use that etiquette on me. But, Keisha, Lakisha, wherever you go, please keep us in the loop. We will support wherever you're at. I promise you. and I hope to see you next year so you can tell me what spices. Yeah, I got you to smile.
And in case you know, it's definitely not over. You know,
No.
we as a radio station that and we was on Morris Avenue had faced eviction, not because we wasn't paying our rent at the time,
Or paying the bills. We
just
paid our
because
bills.
the landlord wanted to clear out the top floor for a client, and it was at that time we didn't have a place to go. We had to file a court to get an extension. Like, no, he just can't just kick us out like this.
Mhm.
And thank God the judges agreed. But it was during that midst of that time, looking for a place to go, that we were blessed with our own building. And that building just didn't come like we're gonna have a place to go. It came with an unbelievable price tag. At one time, I tried to buy this building. It was $40,000+, and that was 24 years ago when we first started the radio station. Didn't have the money, but when we really needed the place to go, I called up one of my friends, one of my white friends. He negotiated the deal. They didn't know who I was. I said, I need you to work this out for me. And this lady said, and she didn't know who we were, but said they can get this building if they pay our taxes. So what was $40,000
Hmm.
5 or 6 years ago became around, I think, $6,000. And it's when we needed it the most.
And it was
happened.
It was a lot of work, Keisha.
So
when Paul first brought me to this building, we had to unscrew plywood off the doors and stuff to get in here. And I looked at Paul and said, man, you crazy. Right? Month or two later, came up in here like, oh, wow, you did all of this. So yeah, it can come. It can happen. Yeah. You just got to give it time.
Keep your faith in God. Keep your faith in God. Keep that praying spirit. It is going to happen. The battle's not over. Trust me.
Thank you so much.
The story doesn't end like this.
Thank you for everything you've done. You know, I don't know how to give up. Every time I'm pushed, just when I don't know what's going to happen, then another door opens that I don't see. And so I do this thing by faith. And it is from the beginning. When I was at the Hideout, you guys supported me. When no one knew who I was coming back from Detroit, even though I'd grown up in Muskegon all my life, 103.7 The Beat, you all supported me. And I never left my love. You know, I got busy. I became fearful to even approach a microphone after so much criticism. But PA, you and Big Rob, you all never changed. Thank you for being that to not only me, but I can tell others that if you need a comrade in arms that will not change when you're doing good and when you're not feeling your best, that is the both of you. So I thank you.
God bless you, sister. We'll be talking. Okay, stay strong. We'll be talking.
Thank you.
The battle's not over. Take care. All right.
You too. Thank you.
All right. Muskegon. That was Lakisha Harris. Also, share this interview, like and share hers on her page. Support her and her new place. She's going to somewhere else. We know that she's going to land somewhere.
Oh yeah. As soon as she do, yeah. I want the first plate of turkey knuckles.
Yeah. And,
and what's that you get? The cabbage,
those greens, man.
Those cabbage greens, man. Lord Jesus, bruh. Boy, they get you right.
Those southern cabbage is, bruh. Nobody can touch it. I mean, look, my mama's in the grave. I love my mom. She couldn't touch them greens that my sister got right there. She was good. My mama's good now.
Oh yeah, your mama could cook.
I saw some that, but with Keisha, I don't know what she was doing. I don't know what kind of juju was happening there, but it was working.
She worked that kitchen,
this
boy.
This battle is not over.
No, by a long shot.
We're going to continue to support our sister, WBS LP 1037 Muskegon Heights. On top of the hour here is 6:06 in Muskegon. Going back to more music.